All right, ladies, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you're watching this. I'm really hoping that you are watching this in the evening so that you are going to be able to respond and do your assignment on time. So, first of all, oops, I noticed that the title for the workbook is not what it was meant to be. So, I'm very sorry about that. I did not double check. I'm very, very sorry. And I'm very sorry that you got the workbook a little late. Um, we had some technical issues, but we're good now. And I really look forward to reading your assignments and seeing you interact with your sister's answers. Don't just drop it there because Rejoice Azuka asked, but I want you to interact with your sister's answers. I want you to connect with those answers and say, oh, that's me, that's not me, and the likes of it. So I really look forward to those fascinating responses. So let's get going. We're talking about the mindset today. Um, so today we're looking at mindset, the mindset. I'm going to start with a quote, and it's from Les Brown. He said something so profound to me. He said, remember that what you are feeling does not reflect your reality. We cannot always control the thoughts that come into our minds, but we can control the thoughts that we dwell on. Think about it. How do you decide what you think about and what you do not think about, right? You don't get to decide those things. These thoughts, they just come in to us. They come to us with our permission or without our permission, and they dwell with us. However, we can decide to say, I am not going to dwell on these thoughts. I always say something, pay attention to think about the very things that you are thinking about. What are you thinking about? What are the thoughts that are filling your heart, that are ensuring that you do not move from where you are to where that you need to be? Because the distance between what we are currently experiencing to what we desire to experience is our mindset concerning our next. And you may tell me something like, but you have to do the work, you have to do this, you need to know the right people. All of that is actually tied to your mindset. Because if I have the right mindset about what I want to achieve, and it's not just wishful thinking, then I will be able and willing to get to work. Why? Because I think the right thoughts about it. I have the right mindset about it. For example, doing this for you, for example, I have the right mindset about it. I know what I'm believing God for the results that I want to see in your life, but I am in a right mental disposition about it. I have the right mental framework for it. I'm willing to do the work. I'm willing to put into the effort. And so you see me doing everything that I do, despite trying to meet up with other things that I'm expected and other obligations that I have. So, what I'm trying to teach you today is how to see effortless results in your life. How that you can work your way into certain rooms and certain places and certain spaces without losing you in the process. How that you can give your best, do your best to be your best. What are the things that you need to do? What are the things that you need to let go of? What are the things that you need to stop thinking about? What are the circles you need to stop staying around? What are the places that you need to stop hanging around? The people you need to stop listening to? These are things that we need to be intentional to think about. And I also hope that you have started with your journal and that you're filling out your journal. And like I encouraged you last time, to print out your journals and work on them, write things down. There's a difference between what you write down and what you have in your head. Write it down, fill it out so that you can actually begin to have on paper the things that are in your heart. You can ask yourself the hard questions and take time to answer them, because this is one of the ways that we work on our mindset and upgrade and elevate and become more, really. So, what is your mindset? Your mindset is a set of beliefs that shapes how you see the world, how you see yourself, and how you see others around you, how you see the world, your environment, how you see yourself, and how you see others around you. It influences how you think, it influences how you feel, it influences how you behave in any given situation. For example, if you have biases about those that have money, and then someone drives into your compound with a sports car, and maybe they drove in a little fast and dust got on you, you'll become offended and defensive. What's wrong with these people? Just because they have money, they feel they can do anything. The reason you're reacting that way could be because maybe you have certain biases about those that have money. Maybe you've had experiences in the past with those that have money, and then you've objectified everyone that has money in that particular way. So your mindset is your belief system, it's the way that you think, it's your opinion. All right, it's your mental attitude, is your mental inclination. What are you leaning towards mentally? How is it affecting you mentally? How is it dawning on you mentally? That is your mindset. It's your attitude, your usual attitude, your baseline attitude. So what is your mindset? And what are the things that evolve and hold on to your mind? So for example, your mindset about savings, for example, would determine whether or not you save, even when you don't have enough. So our mindsets are very important, and we need to be aware of our mindsets because it leads the decisions and it frames the decisions that we make, why we make them, and how we make them. That's our mindset for us. So what are the different kinds and different types of mindsets? We're going to talk about two, and that's the growth mindset and the fixed mindset. The growth mindset is physical, it's limiting, it avoids challenges, it ignores feedback because it believes that it avoids challenges because it doesn't want to be put under pressure, it doesn't want to be stretched, it doesn't want to be pushed. That's the growth mindset for you. However, the fixed mind, sorry, I'm so sorry, I mixed both up. Let me start again. The two kinds of mindset, the fixed mindset and the growth mindset. The fixed mindset is limiting because it believes that you cannot do better, you cannot know better, and you cannot learn better. So the fixed mindset says that failure is in the limit of your abilities. So you are either good at it or you're not. You don't like to be challenged. Your potential is predetermined by how you were born. When you're frustrated, give up. Feedback and criticisms are better, are personal. Stick to what you know. You can either do it or you can't. These are prefixed thoughts of the fixed mindset. The fixed mindset believes that don't stretch for challenges. Don't give me feedback. Your feedback is personal. You're trying to tear me apart. When people succeed, you're threatened by it, you're offended by it. You desire to look smart. And so, in the bid to look smart, you actually begin to look foolish. You give up easily with the fixed mindset, and you were born with what you believe. However, the growth mindset is freedom. Growth mindset sees failure as an opportunity to grow. The growth mindset says, I can learn to do anything I want. The growth mindset sees that challenges helps you grow. The growth mindset says that your effort and attitude determines your ability. Growth mindset sees feedback and criticisms as constructive. Growth mindset says that it is inspired by the success of others. Growth mindset says that it likes to try new things. It's not limited by the current phase of things, but it likes to try new things. So, growth mindset perseveres in the face of failures. It understands that you have responsibility. It's not just about how you were born, but you get to determine and decide how far you go by the effort that you put in to learn. All right. Growth mindset does not see the success of others as a threat, but sees it as an inspiration and an opportunity to grow. The growth mindset accepts criticism, it desires to learn, and it builds abilities. It understands that it doesn't know it all, it doesn't have it all, but it learns to get better. It learns to get better. So one focuses on improvement while the other insists that it is fine just right where it is. And this is why it is very, very important that we begin to pay attention to our mindset, not just in one particular thing, but in everything. Why are you thinking the way you're thinking about finances? Why are you thinking the way you're thinking about marriage? Why are you thinking the way you're thinking about relationships? Why are you thinking the way you're thinking about resources? Why are you thinking the way you're thinking about relationship with women, for example? I used to think that women were bad, women are backstabbers, women are just terrible creatures, nobody should hang around women. That used to be my mindset about women until the Holy Spirit began to probe that mindset for me, began to make me question that mindset. Okay, why do I think that women are evil? Why do I think that women are betrayers? Why do I think that I react to women the way that I do? Was it my experiences? What led to those thoughts? What led to those things? I began to ask myself questions to understand why the things were going the way that they were going. I began to look at myself differently to understand why things were going the way they were going that way. And so, if I want to talk about a growth mindset and maybe give you a possibility on how to arrive at a growth mindset, I would say number one, your attitude determines your behavior. Your behavior determines your action. Your action determines your results, and your results determines your performance. I'll say it again. Attitude determines your behavior. Your behavior determines your action, which is what you do. Your action determines your results. Your results determines your performance. Let's give an example. For example, I want to lose weight. I want to lose weight because the world says that you need to be a size 6 to be beautiful. Anything less than a size 6 is not beautiful. That's not a good reason to lose weight. And so, very soon, I'm going to get tired of it because it doesn't have enough drive in it to push a behavior for me. And so, what it does instead is that it puts me in a posture of complacency and redundant behavior, the wrong behavior. And that wrong behavior, birthed by the wrong attitude, is going to mean that I'm going to begin to eat worse foods. I'm going to become lazy to sit down and do nothing. I'm going to hang around and binge on TV. I'm not going to move around. I'm just going to stay in one place, giving excuses. The result, I'm going to gain more weight. The performance is that I'm going to get sickly. I'm going to get exhausted. I'm not going to be able to do the things that I need to do because I'm not 100%. However, if I have the right attitude about money, I need money to make impact. I need money to reach people. I need money to be able to be able to reach the people that I want to reach the way that I want to reach them. And when my motives are right, it births the right behavior. Okay, what are the things I can create to be able to earn or to be able to build a stable source of income for people to be able to be impacted just like I desire. And when I ideate, when I create these ideas and I have these ideas at heart, it's going to birth a corresponding action. That means I'm going to sit up, I'm going to wake up, I'm going to begin to do the research, do the studying, do everything that I need to do, consult the people that I need to consult, pay for the courses I need to pay for the consultants I need to pay for the coaches, one-on-one clarity coaches, business coaches I need to pay. Then when I have all the right actions in place, I'm going to see the right results. And when I see the right result, my performance is going to be that I'm going to do the reason or my motive for actually wanting to get money. And when my attitude or my performance is right, it actually motivates me to have a right attitude about something else. So you see, it's like a chain. It goes round and round and round and round and round and round. It keeps going around, and I need to be able to apply to it. I need to be able to put myself to it so that I can grow, so that I can be better. So that I can grow and so that I can be better. So your participation is required in mindsets. And up until this point, I hope that you understand that. And while I was preparing for this, the Lord began to speak to me to talk about addictions, because many times when we say addictions, we think of things like pornography, food, or certain things, but there are certain addictions that can be good. There are certain addictions that can be helpful. Christine Caldwell said something profound. She said, addiction interferes with our ability to sense what the right thing is. It also interferes with our ability to sense whether or not any nourishment, be it food, touch, action, stimulation, is not enough, just right, or too much. Now, while there are certain good things we can be addicted to, we need to come to that place of balance, because we don't just go through life carelessly, go through life lackadaisically. We must pay attention to our tastes, our potentials, our abilities, and our extremes. There are certain things that we don't do in extremes, because when we do certain things in extremes, other things begin to suffer. Life is not a combination of all the yeses you can say, but life is made up of the no's you can say, even to good things. In fact, Ture Roberts, in his new book, Balance, made a quote. He said, you need to learn to say no 90% of the time. Um, there was a day that I wanted to drink Coke. I really did. It felt like if I didn't drink Coke, I would die. And as I was about to order the Coke, the Holy Spirit said to me, what will happen if you don't drink this Coke right now? I said, well, I'm really thirsty. I really want to drink Coke. And then he said something to me. He said, could it be that you are addicted to Coke? That while some people get their highs from cocaine and weed, you get yours from Coke. And I was like, no, that's not true. And I got all defensive, and he stopped talking. He stopped talking. He didn't say anything anymore. But in that moment, in his silence, I just knew that I was becoming my own enemy. I was becoming my own limitation. I was becoming the very one who was standing in my own way, because I was letting my addictions get better of me. And if I allowed my addictions to continue, I would get to a point of no return. So in that moment, I got water instead, and I drank water. And after about 30 minutes, the need to get Coke died. I didn't think about it anymore. I was under pressure. And then a lady walks in and gets Coke where I was. And she's holding Coke. And I don't even behave like someone is in need of Coke or somebody is thinking about Coke. I'm not thinking about that. I'm just doing what I need to do. And then the Holy Spirit said, did you realize that your action in that moment sponsored a discipline on your inside, that you were not going to put yourself in a situation where that you are sponsored by your very addictions. So, what does that mean? That means that I said no to Coke. And the next day, I could say no to a meeting that I was supposed to have, that it was not a must do, it was just a should do. And then I began to say no to other things, and I began an intentional journey into no's. And I realized that the no's that I said liberated me from the pressures that I put myself under trying to be respected and applauded by people. There are many things that we are subtly addicted to. We're addicted to movies, we're addicted to even reading books, we're addicted to listening to people, we're addicted to certain things that we're not even conscious about. And one of the things that influences our mindset is our addictions. The things that you are addicted to begins to form and shape the way that you act, the way that you react. And we must learn to know when it is not enough, when it is just right, or when it's too much. And how do we get to that point? Number one, self awareness. Know yourself. There's a quote that says, "Man, know thyself, know yourself. Know yourself. What are your hard limits? What are your soft limits? What are the things that are absolutely just not acceptable to you? What are the things that are really good, really helpful, should be done, and all of that? What are they?" Self awareness. Number two, identify the sponsoring behaviors. What are the things that are sponsoring those behaviors for you? Could it be friends? Could it be loved ones? What are the things that are sponsoring the attitudes? What are the things that are sponsoring the outcomes? What are the things that are sponsoring the lifestyle habits? What are the things that are sponsoring your choices? What are the sponsoring things? And in fact, another way for me to put it is, what are the enablers? What are the things that are enabling those reactions and actions? What are the things that are enabling those possibilities for you? What are the enabling factors that are holding on so dearly to the very things that you shouldn't be holding on to, but you need to let go of? What are your enabling factors? Very important to identify those enabling factors. You need to be able to look at them, you need to be able to identify them, you need to be able to deal with them, you need to be able to look at them and say, you know what, I need to cut you off, I need to let you go, I need to begin to say no to you. And remember, you don't have to get it all sorted out in one day. You don't have to get it all figured out in one day. You don't have to get it all postured right in one day. You can get better daily. You can make the right choices, do the right things, make the right decisions every day. You put yourself in situations and positions that permit you to do better daily. And moving forward, your mindset and your life shift. Rick Warren says we are products of our past, but we don't have to be prisoners of it. If you want your life to shift, you must learn from your past, enable the right things in your present, and ensure that you see the right future by programming the right images from your mind. Learn from your past, enable the right things in your future, the right actions, because your today is a picture of the possibilities of your tomorrow. What you're doing today, what you're doing right now, it's a picture of possibilities that you will enable in your future. And then see the right future by creating the right environment, the right mindset to live differently, see better possibilities, and dream differently. So, what are the 12 D's of a life shift, a mind shift? I'm so sorry. I know that this was supposed to be a 30-minute class, but it's definitely going to go past this. And I hope that I'm not wasting your time in all of this. Number one, death. We must learn to die to ourselves. We must learn to die to our ambition. To live is Christ, but to die is gain. And that's so profound because I want to live. I want to be alive. But I want to die because the gains of my death are more than the gains of my living. One of the reasons why God cannot entrust us with certain things is because We are too alive to handle it. We are too alive to see it. We're too alive to hold on to it. We are too alive, and we've got to die. And why is that the first D? It's because our life must be lived from death. I know you're looking at me like, what does she mean? Your life must be lived from that. If you are going to see the right results, the right outcomes in your life, then you must learn to live your life from that. You must not learn to live your life from a place where you are too alive to make the right decisions. You are too alive to be in the right spaces and the right places. You are too alive. You are too alive. So you've got to begin to die. You've got to let yourself die. You've got to let yourself live differently, see differently, and ideate a different outcome, an entirely different outcome. That's what you got to do. And so you need to die to yourself. Paul says, I die daily, but his life made the most impact that the world could ever imagine. His life was so impactful, yet he was a man who woke up every day just to die another day, so that when physical death comes, he would not be scared, but he would begin to operate from the place where he realizes that death is not the end, it's just another new beginning. Number next, desperation. You've got to come to the place where you just have one choice. And I'm sure you're thinking, what do you even mean by that? Why do I have to have just one choice? Why can't I be full of many choices? Why can't I have many options? The reason is because when you have too many options, you make it easy for yourself to not see right. Just have one option. One option is either God or God. One option is either you grow or you grow. It's either you succeed or you succeed. There is no other option, just one. There are no two ways about it. There are no other, there's nothing else that you're dreaming about. There's nothing else that you're seeing. It's just one option. That's all you see. One option. That's the possibilities that floods you. One option. That's the picture that fills your heart. You're not filled with many options, but just one option. And that's forward, that's succeeding, and you would give everything to get there, which will birth the third decisions. What decisions are you making right now? You are a sum total of your current decisions. Your present outcome is a sum total of all your decisions up until this point. So that means that your next is determined by the many decisions that you are choosing to make in this moment. What are you deciding to do? What are the decisions that you're making in the now? What are decisions that are fueling your possibilities, fueling your outcomes, fueling your images, fueling your tomorrow? Is what are your decisions? Number next is deliverance. And I'm sure you're wondering, okay, does that mean that we need to go and fast and pray? Yes, actually, we need to be delivered from certain mindsets. We need to be delivered from many possibilities that has grounded us hitherto. We need to be delivered from the things that we've believed that are a lie. We need to be delivered from the images that are flooding ourselves, that we're flooding ourselves with, that are just not right. Romans 12, verse 2, don't become so well adjusted to your culture that you fit into it without even thinking. Instead, fix your attention on God and you'll be changed from inside out. Readily recognize what he wants from you and quickly respond to it. You need to be delivered from your fears. Unlike the culture around you, always dragging you down to its level of immaturity, God brings the best out of you and develops well formed maturity in you. God brings the best out of you. God brings the best out of you. So you must be delivered from the culture that you are currently living in. You must be delivered from the limitations of your present You must be delivered from the pictures that you've believed so far that are a lie. You must allow God to deliver you. You must allow God to flood your heart with the right images. You must begin to change the pictures that you're hanging around. You may be born in the bushes, but the bushes doesn't have to be your final destination. And then finally, not finally, sorry. Number five, destiny. You must understand that your deliverance propels you into destiny. Your deliverance propels you into the right places, the right spaces. It propels you into the original path of you, because your deliverance is bringing you out of the pictures and the frameworks and the modalities of the world, the lies of the world that has held you down. Your deliverance is you coming out of what the world expects into what God expects. Your deliverance is coming out of a man ordained destiny to a God ordained destiny, from a man ordained possibility and narrative to a God ordained narrative. And your destiny will determine the direction you will go, the things that you will do, the friends that you will have, the people that you will hang around, the conversations you will sit in on, the people that you listen to. Your deliverance will determine all of this. Your direction, sorry, will determine all of this. Your direction will spur you into development. You will desire to get better. You will do what needs to be done for you to get better. You will pay the price, which means sometimes staying up at night when others are sleeping, which means sometimes giving to studying when others are watching movies, which means sometimes hanging around in rooms and in spaces where others are not going to be in. All right? And all these things become a major part of your journey. Development, personal development, mental development, emotional development, financial development. You have to pay the price for development. Pay the price for development. And as you develop, you must be determined to see it through, because there are going to be days of that you don't feel good enough. There are going to be days where you don't feel enough, where you don't feel like you are the right person for the job, where you don't feel like you should be here, where you don't feel like you're powerful enough, where you don't feel like you just don't feel like it. So you must be determined to push through even when you don't feel like it. Number next is you must be willing to be disappointed. And I say this because many of us are like, no, everything is going to go well. Everything is going to be right. Everything is going to. I don't doubt you, but you must be willing to say that, okay, if this does not work, it's not the end of me. It's not the end of me. If this does not work, I see failure as an opportunity for growth. I see failure for an opportunity into more. I see failure as a propeller for me and not a destroyer. It doesn't destroy my morale that I failed, it just propels me into more that I failed. And I learn to fail forward, not backwards. So you must place your heart and posture your heart for disappointment. Disclosure and declaration. I know we've been told that, oh, don't say it, don't say that you're a failure, don't say that you're a disappointment, be careful what you say, your declaration matters, and all of that. I agree with you. But a right assessment of where you are does not negate the fact that you have a right picture of your outcome at heart. Hear me again. A right evaluation of your present state does not negate the fact that you believe better. for your outcome. And so we've got to, faith sees the reality, acknowledges the reality, but declares God's word over the reality as the truth. Faith sees the reality, acknowledges the reality, but sees God's word as true. So, for full disclosure, say what's going on, evaluate it at the level, but then declare God's word. That's faith. And then learn to write. Learn to write, fam. Learn to write. Write. Write and keep writing. And then finally, have dominion. Because the more you write, that's your story right there. So that a generation will come after you, and then they will not say, oh, she just came out of nowhere and she became. No, they will see the process, they will see the journey, they will see the failures, they will see the lack of sleep at night, they will see the fears, they will see it all. Yet they will say that, this one persevered in spite of everything. And then there's dominion. That's the outcome, that's the destination. There is a dominion mandate over us that we must choose to willfully and willingly be active participants towards it. I'll end with this quote by Joel Osteen: get your mind going in the right direction, and you get your life going in the right direction. Don't try to change your life when you've not changed your mind. Your mind is the beginning. Your mind is where to start from. Your mind is the root of it all. What are your assignments? What stood out for you in this class? What are the salient points that stood out for you in this class? Number two, which D's resonates with your current season? Where do you find yourself right now? Could you be in the place of disappointment and disclosure and declaration? Or could you be at the place of death where you find that you're having to die to many things that you've believed? What are your current D's according to this current season? And based on this teaching, what strategy is going to help you to upgrade your mind, to adjust to your new season and get to your destination? I've added some additional resources of videos that I have watched that blessed me and really helped my mind. I recommend them to you to watch them as well. And then some books that I've read as well that has helped me. Feel free to get them and read them as well. They will definitely be helping your mind even as you progress in life and destiny. Thank you so much for being a part of class today. Do feel free to ask your questions when we meet live in 2 weeks. Let me know how today's class was for you, really. Let me know how today's class was for you, really. I really look forward to your growth, your upgrade, and your becoming. Have a fabulous afternoon, evening, morning. You are loved dearly. Don't just watch it once. Come back to it over and over again, and it can only get